Hey everybody, welcome to Smoky Mountain Echo, where we share the stories and voices that make Haywood County such a special place to live. I'm your host, Haywood County Public Information Officer Dylan Huffman, and this month I'm joined by Deputy Gina Zachary. She's the Public Information Officer at the Haywood County Sheriff's Office. We're also going to have Sheriff Bill Wilkie drop in as well. Gina is here to talk about an exciting new project, the Community Beat. It's a brand new podcast from the Haywood County Sheriff's Office, and it is designed to keep residents informed, connected, and engaged with what's happening across our county. We'll be talking about what inspired the show, what kinds of stories you'll hear, and how it ties into the Sheriff's Office mission of transparency and community partnership. Gina, first off, congratulations on launching the Community Beat. Let's talk about, to start off the conversation, what inspired you and the Haywood County Sheriff's Office to start this new podcast?
Well, actually, you did, Dylan. We saw how useful this tool is with our county government, and some other agencies are doing it. It just gives us another avenue for our community to be able to engage with us.
For folks who haven't heard about it yet, let's talk about and describe the Community Beat podcast in just a few words. Kind of what's it going to be about?
Our goal is to keep you informed, connected, and engaged with what's happening across our agency and with the different divisions. The Community Beat is going to be a great way to stay connected with our community and to kind of know what's happening at the Sheriff's Office, also at our detention center and dispatch.
What do you hope that listeners kind of take away from each episode?
A better understanding of what we do here, what our deputies do here, what the different divisions do.
Talk a little bit about how you're going to engage with the community when it comes to listener-submitted questions and topics.
Oh, great. That's a good question. We're going to have an email that's already actually been set up that people can submit their topics or their questions. And that email is hcsopodcast@haywoodcountync.gov. Again, it's hcsopodcast@haywoodcountync.gov. We've already had a couple of people submit some ideas, and they're fantastic. We are really looking forward to featuring some of their ideas on our upcoming shows.
What are some of those ideas?
One of them is insights into 911. So what happens when you call 911? What happens if you accidentally call 911 and you hang up? So we kind of give you some guidance on what to do. There are a lot of people that accidentally call, or perhaps their child gets their phone, or some people's watches call them. But we wanted to really talk about that some. Some of the other ideas are lessons that we learned from Hurricane Helene, as well as the community and law enforcement. So what our community policing program is, how to build trust with our community, and bridge gaps between law enforcement and our community. So these are just a few of the great ideas that's already been submitted to us.
When do you hope to drop the first episode?
We are shooting for after Thanksgiving, so hopefully the last week in November or perhaps the first week in December.
Let's bring in Sheriff Bill Wilkie now to join us in this conversation. Sheriff, how do you see this podcast helping to build trust and strengthen relationships between the community and the Sheriff's Office?
Well, it's just another way that we stay in touch with our community. They share topics with us, and it's an opportunity, to open a newer line of communication in a way that a lot of our young folks like to communicate. So, at that level, I think it's a great opportunity to continue the conversation with the community on a different level.
So kind of walk us through the process, Sheriff. How did we get from, the idea to actually starting the show?
Well, so many people get their news from different sources, and we have conversations with folks all the time, even within our staff and people in the community, about where they get information, how they hear information, and just thought it was a great idea to open this form of communication up. And so I just simply asked that we put a little bit of time and effort into thinking about how this could work for our community, and the idea was born, and we moved right into it.
Gina was telling me about some of the community submitted story topics. What topics are you most excited to share?
The ones of actual events, the stories that excite me the most are the ones where we have the chance to provide assistance to our community in only a way a sheriff's deputy or the sheriff's office can. There's so many good stories out there, but they get drowned out by the noise and the negativity on social media and all the and I'll just call it what it is. There's just a lot of garbage out there. And, that can drown out all the good stuff. And I really want to emphasize how good our deputies are and how good they are at assisting and helping the community. We watch programs like Cops and we see all the action and the adventure and people think that's all there is to it, but there's so much more to it. And, getting out there and the things they do each and every day, I want to share those stories. I also want to share stories about the things that are happening in our detention center. Behind closed doors, there are so many lives that get changed back there. It's difficult to measure with any amount of data, but you know it when you see it. And the folks that have left and come back years later and said, the experience in the jail changed my life. How can I help folks who are here now get to the point where I am? And those stories are coming. I'm really excited about sharing some of those because we've got some folks whose lives were changed. The other part to that, is communications. I want to incorporate our telecommunicators and the stories that they have because they're on the front line. They take the call as it comes in, and very seldom do they ever get to see or hear or understand what happened at the scene once the deputies arrive. And so hearing from their perspective and how they initially take that call, because they're our first line of communication when someone calls us. And I'm excited to share some of those stories about how they've handled situations and how they have helped a situation or an event even before the deputy gets there. And all of these things play such an important part. And I want the community to be able to see and to understand what goes into this, because it's not at all like you see on television. And we just have some great people doing some great things. And those are the stories I'm most excited about sharing.
Some additional ideas that we've had are highlighting our DARE program and our school resource officers. A lot of people don't know that we still have DARE in schools here in Haywood County. Also, one of our very exciting topics will be that we now have in the sheriff's office 10 sworn women, and I'm hoping to highlight each of those women with some posts and on the podcast, as well as informing people of the recent scams going around. Dylan, you and I know we both see it and hear it all the time. People fall for these phone calls where they say they've missed jury duty and things like that. We really want to put that message out there in as many ways that we can. We're also hoping to partner with some of our churches to get that message out as well. And another great idea that we think would be helpful is to have our community centers be part of our show and just highlight what each of their centers are doing and some of their events, because those are very important pieces of our county.
Gina, as we kind of wind down our conversation here, it's called the Community Beat. Let's kind of talk about for just a moment personally, what does community mean with you or mean to you in the context of your work here at the sheriff's office?
Oh, goodness. Community means people coming together to support, respect, and look out for each other, and that we're working toward a shared sense of belonging and purpose here in Haywood County, which I believe that we really, really are. We're very fortunate to live in such a great county. My children all went to school here. I've lived here since I was 19, and there's no better place on the planet, in my opinion, than this county, and it's very special.
That was Haywood County Sheriff Bill Wilkie and Deputy Gina Zachary. She's the public information officer over at the Haywood County Sheriff's Office, sharing a behind-the-scenes look at their brand new podcast. Again, like Gina said, if you'd like to submit a question or an idea for the Community Beat, you can email the team at hcsopodcast@haywoodcountync.gov. They'll be sharing on social media exactly when and where you'll be able to listen to the show, so definitely be on the lookout for that. Thank you so much for listening to Smoky Mountain Echo this month. Be sure to check us out wherever you find your favorite podcast, and we will see you next month.